Hi guys, today I thought I'd show you how to do a faux Tiffany stone. Now somebody in my group actually posted a really nice picture, inspiration picture of a Tiffany stone. I'm not going to go with that particular picture, but I did look up Tiffany stone for myself and I picked out one that I particularly liked. I'm just going to show you the way I do it. And all you're going to need is some white clay, and I've rolled this out on the thickest setting of my pasta machine, and excuse my inky hands because I've been playing with alcohol inks this morning. So just a little piece of white, just big enough to, I'm making one pendant, so it's just big enough to accommodate this one cutter that I'm using. And I've got some dark Premo purple rolled out onto a number 8 on my pasta machine, 9 being my thinnest setting. And I'm just going to lift that off and pop it on top of the white like so. Let's just get rid of that excess. Don't need all that. Oops. So that's all you need to do for that stage, as easy as that. So a white piece of clay rolled onto the thickest setting with a piece of dark purple rolled out onto number 8, so quite thin, very thin actually, on the top like so. And this is Premo clay, by the way. So that's the clay that you need. You also need obviously your standard tools, blades, etc. I'm also going to be using an X-Acto knife, and I've got a selection of alcohol inks here because looking at Tiffany stone, they tend to lean to like purplish and bluish hues, and maybe sometimes with a hint of like a reddish hue in it, even yellow sometimes. Speaking of which, I'm just going to grab that yellow one that I wanted to use as well. So I'm going with purples, a couple of different purples. This one's actually a yellow one, some black, a reddish one, and a blue. Excuse my disgusting bottles. So you don't have to be particular about which brand of alcohol ink you use, just as long as you use those colours: purples, blues, reds, and black and yellow. Although a lot of the stones I've seen don't actually include yellow, but the one that I was particularly drawn to just has a very little hint of yellow in it. So they're the colours I'm going with. But if you look at your own pictures of Tiffany stone, you'll see what I mean. So you need alcohol inks as well, and obviously some brushes. And I've also got this little palette so I can pour my alcohol inks into that, and also some rubbing alcohol. And I think that's it, other than the UV resin at the end, because this will get resined. So I'm just going to show you one, but I will show you my finished pieces from other batches that I made, so you can get a general idea. And some of them are a little bit different, but I'll explain. And I'm getting ink everywhere. My gosh, today has been one of those days again. It's like I've spilled stuff, oh dear. Anyway, I took a little break, and although it wasn't a very long break from doing tutorials, I was going to take another probably week or two, but my addiction got the better of me, so here I am doing a tutorial. Right, so let's start with making some lines in this then. So you've got your white clay topped with the purple, and we just want to make, I'm just going to make a few lines in this, and I want quite a lot of the white to show through. Now some Tiffany stones have got a lot more shapes and lines running through, but I just want this to be a little bit more subtle. But I will show you the other ones that I made at the end. So I'm just going to take my blade, actually, yeah, this one will do. So I'm not going to put a lot of lines in this, and I'm just going to push all the way through the stack, and hopefully it doesn't stick like that, but if it does, don't worry about it, just push it back together. So I'm just going to do a few little curvy lines here and there, and you are going to need to push all the way through. And do you know what? I'm telling you wrong. You need to turn it upside down so it's blunt side. Derp. That's why it's pulling back up. So you do need to use the blunt side, guys. So be very careful as well, because this is extremely sharp. I don't want to cut myself. So I'm just putting a few random lines in. I'm not even necessarily taking it all the way through the piece. I'm not doing, you know, straight across lines or anything. I'm just doing some simple lines. And you can crisscross a little bit. It's just to get a faint pattern going. And my cat is crying. I don't know if you can hear her in the background. What? Now the dog's here. I don't get a moment's peace, you know, with these animals. Seriously. And I don't know, guys, I'm just trying to work out how I best want this to look. But I'm going to take my X-Acto knife. And I'm just going to take it on its edge like this. And I'm going to draw some random lines through it, kind of, you know, swirling around a little bit, wavy, a bit wavier, and some even maybe sharper zigzaggy lines. Like I say, I don't want a lot of line in this, just a few. I'm just going to take another one up here and just bring it down, and let's go a different direction with this. Let me think, maybe just a couple more of this kind where I squiggle it in the clay like so, and you can overlap the lines as well, kind of looks cool that way. And let me think, maybe just a couple of little ones just overlapping here and there, nothing major. And I think maybe just another curvy one or two going like that. Alright, maybe one up there because that's a bit empty up there. And I think I'm good. I think I'm going to leave it at that. So I'm just going to get my roller now, and we're just going to close these back up a little bit, just to make sure it's all nicely stuck together. Like so. And I'm thinking as well, I'm going to need a backing of white clay for this, but we'll do that afterwards. Okay, so once you've done that, and excuse me while I scratch my nose, it's itchy. Once you've done that, just take your flexible blade and hold it more in the middle. Don't hold it at the end. You get better control if you hold it here. And you're just going to start gently shaving off that top layer of purple, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it reveals lines underneath. Now, I decided to go with the purple lines as opposed to black because that's the one piece that I saw I really liked, and it was more of a purplish line running through it like this. But a lot of Tiffany stone has the black veins, the black lines running through, and again I have made some of those, so I will show you, but I just wanted to do it this way today. Now you can keep these pieces and use them for something else. The other thing I noticed as well, not all of the lines in the Tiffany stone are necessarily thin. They can have little patches of thicker lines like this little bit here, so I'm going to leave that. It's a little bit thicker and I like it, so I'm going to leave it. And this does take practice because this is kind of, I don't know, you just need practice with this. It's difficult getting very thin shavings sometimes, and you can even just kind of wiggle the blade down like this, and that way it leaves like little smudgy areas like that. So again, some little thicker lines. Again, practice. So you just keep doing that until you've removed as much of it as you want to be removed. And I do want, I'm really liking this bit here, so let me just think where I'm going to put my cutter. Yeah, that's good. But I am going to remove some more of this because I want a little bit more white showing at the bottom. So, like that. Or however you want to do it, of course. I'm just going to keep doing this. And I think we're good because, like I say, I'm only doing this one cutter, so let's have a look. I think that's pretty good. I'm just going to remove this little bit here. And just a fraction here. Like so. And that's all I'm going to do. So I've got some thicker splodgy bits and then some finer lines and then the different, you know, shapes of lines that I put in there with the blades. And that's all there really is to that part, guys. But I am going to need some more backing clay, so I'm just going to go and roll out a piece of white backing and I'll be back. Alright, I've rolled this piece of clay out. I've just rolled it onto a number 3 though, because we've still got some thickness in this. I don't want it to turn out too chunky. And I'm just going to... I feel like my camera's at a weird angle today because I'm having to like bob my head down to see what I'm doing. I don't know what I did differently. It's kind of awkward. Anyway, I'm just going to shave this off and just pop it on my white backing clay like so. And then I'm just going to roll it out so it's nice and smooth. Like so. Like so. Now the other thing I wanted to do is to add a few little very fine crackles, and I found that to do that rubbing alcohol does the trick. So I'm just going to spray some rubbing alcohol on there and just let it sit, maybe for 15 or so seconds, not too long, while I just faff around and tidy some of my work area again. I've got stuff everywhere. And then I've only got this, whoops, sorry, I knocked the camera. I've only got this tiny little area to work in, and yet I'm surrounded by stuff. Alright, so just let that sit for a little bit, 15 seconds or so, and then just give it a dab just to get the excess off. And then what you can do is just lift it to see and gently push your finger from behind to see if there's any cracks forming in the rays. I don't know if you can pick that up on camera. Can you see? If you just give it a gentle rub from behind, it'll crackle the clay a little bit, and sometimes a little bit too much, but that's fine as well. I'm just going to give it a roll though. Okay, now you probably can't see much now because I've just rolled it. Let me just see. Like I say, I don't want many anyway, so I think I'm good with that. Right, next step then. You can either go ahead and put your alcohol inks on now, but what I like to do is cut out my piece, and then it gives me a better visual idea of where I want which colours to go where, if that makes any sense. I'm trying to think where I want this. Let's go, let me just have a quick look, guys. Yeah, let's go there. Acrylic block, where are you? There you are, hiding under some card. Just going to cut that out. That's just how I like to do it. Like I say, you could always just add the colour before you cut, but I prefer to do it this way because it does give me a better idea of where I want the colours to go. Now there is some left. I could probably get a couple of little earrings out of that or something, because I did kind of go in the centre of the clay, but oh well. So that's what it looks like thus far. And as I've mentioned already, some Tiffany stone has got a lot more pattern and veining going on it, but I wanted it to be more subtle. And I will show you the inspiration picture in the video itself. Okay, alright, so there's the piece, and I'm just going to take my little palette, and I've got to try and work out how to fit all this on here so you can actually see. And I'm going to take my alcohol inks. Again, I'm going with mainly the purple with a hint of the reddish colour, a hint of a blue, and a very, 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 very slight hint of yellow. And in actual fact, I don't think I'm even going to go with blue on this one. I've changed my mind. So I'm going with a red, two different purples, one darker, one lighter, just to reiterate, a hint of yellow, and I'm also going to add a little bit of black as well. So I'm just going to squirt a little bit of rubbing alcohol into each, just because I want it to be a little diluted. How many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe just a bit more in each one, because you want it diluted. You don't want a strong overload of colour. And I'll start with my purple. So I'm just going to put a little drop of purple in there. And I'm just going to add a little bit of undiluted there, just because I might want to add a little bit of a darker purple. And then this other purple, which is a little bit lighter, I'll just add 2 or 3 drops of that. Again, it's on you how saturated you want the colours to be, guys. But I'm going with the more subtle look. And then this yellow, and I'm just adding 1 drop. It's very faint. And then a little bit of the reddish. This is actually called Candy, and it's a Pixies alcohol ink. But like I say, any kind of red would work, really. So I'm going to start with this purple. Before I do that, I'm just going to give this a little spritz with the rubbing alcohol again, just to help those. Oops. Let me get rid of that. Just to help those colours flow. So I'm just going to start dropping it at the top here, and I'm just dabbing it on and letting it do its thing. It's pretty much the same as doing a watercolour painting, I guess, where you just let the ink do it, the paint do its thing. I'm just going to get a different brush so it's clean. Let's try this other purple. Drop that on there. And it's fine for the colours to blend together. It kind of actually looks nicer that way, in my opinion. So I'm just going to add a little bit down here, not too much. Let me see how that looks. I'm having a hard time seeing. Just give me 1 second, guys, while I look. Okay. I am just going to add a little drop of the darker purple here and there, just because I like purple. And I'm just going to blot it a little bit. Just like so. I'm just going to give it another quick spray. It doesn't seem wet enough. And just drop a little bit more of this in here and just soften those edges a little bit. So that's all you're doing. It's just dropping little bits of alcohol ink on your piece wherever you want it to go. Now the piece that I am currently looking at, I've got a reference picture next to me, it's actually got little a little bit of black in it as well. So I'm just going to drop a little bit of black on there too. And I'm running out of battery, so I've got to be quick. So I'm just dropping a little bit of black, and that's as much as I'm doing. Actually, no, I'm just going to put a little bit more here, just a little touch. And again, I'm going to blot it. Like so. I'm just going to redo that. Actually, I'm going to make this a little darker. So again, you're just playing around with it, guys. And I've got to be quick because my battery's about to die on me. So I'm just going to show you the last little bit, which is the yellow. And it's... Dang it, my brush is dirty from the last time I used it. Anything that could go wrong has gone wrong today, trust me. Hey ho. I'm just going to get tiniest amount of that yellow, tiniest amount, and just pop it down there. And that's it. That's all I'm doing. Alright guys, so I'm going to go and put this in the oven and bake it for about an hour. And once I've done that and my battery's recharged on my phone, I'll be back. Okay guys, I'm back and it's finished. Sanded it just with a 400 grit all over just to neaten it up, tidy the edges and the back, etc. Resined it, added a pinch bail and a ribbon cord. I get the pinch bails from Amazon, and I also get these cords ready-made from Amazon. And there we go. Tiffany stone. So that's the one that I did on camera. Here's another one that I did very much like the one I did today. Okay, very, very similar. But I also did these ones. And these, as you can see, has got a lot more pattern going on in it. And basically all I did, exactly the same as this technique here, but I used the black sheet of clay instead of the purple sheet of clay. And I just did more lines and patterns in it, just using the blade. So there's some more Tiffany stones, faux Tiffany stones, with a little bit more going on in them. But I prefer the less busy look, so that's the one that I went with today. Alright guys, so there you go, faux Tiffany stone. Hope you enjoyed that. Have a great weekend and I'll catch you later. Bye.